everyone. We just finished with the Mahashivratri on the 8th and March 10th, New Moon. And what was coming through really was to share the importance of the time that we are in right now. And that is from the new moon that has just passed on the 10th till the full moon that's going to come up on the 25th of March, and actually even a little bit beyond that because it's eclipse season. So April 8th, the total solar eclipse that is happening. So this time frame, depending on like cycles within cycles, right, whichever cycle we're standing at. So if you look at the cycle, the annual cycle, that which we are very familiar with, we know that at this point there are two major shifting points that happen annually. One is during the spring, of course, right, after resting, the feminine, the subtle, the new life that is coming as, to show its new face as the masculine, and the celebration of that we are in right now in the northern hemisphere. That is at the spring, right? And then the second shift is always in the fall, right? Again, for us, longer nights, shorter days, kind of turning inwards as nature kind of settles down again so that she can refresh, rest, and come back again as a new cycle the next year. So right now we are moving through that time where the new life, the new what has been sowed is being reaped, the fruits of that, right, which consciousness which has lived at that level of the cycle is showing its face. And this window is really, really key. As we know, the window between two eclipses, we have the lunar eclipse happening on the full moon 25th, and then they always come in pairs, at least for the most part, and then solar eclipse, right, that window between that. And this new moon that comes immediately after Mahashivratri, right, the fortnight till that full moon, is like a highly charged energetic window, which really, when we sense into it, when the known mind is really open and available without needing to make any definitions or bring its own ideas, we can meet life in the present moment and really see what is simmering and coming up in the field. That's the invitation of this time. So what was coming forth was to be shared as, the importance of Sankalpa, right, intention. Shiva, that is pure consciousness, that which we are, appearing as the mind, as Shakti at all levels, as play, is what one may call as, Shiva as a choice, a desire, but it is a living intention. It's an unfolding living intention, right? Sankalpa. So kind of sensing into that. Before we jump into that, I wanted to share a little bit. If we take a, let's say, Vedic, right, it's the sidereal Vedic astrological perspective to this, and how it kind of shows up, right? So right now, the new moon that is past in the time that we are in is the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. This nakshatra, the name itself, Purva, means east. And for us in our culture, the east, as we know, right, everything is relative to where the eye is, right, and how we perceive. So for the eye, that east is the direction where we see the sun rising. So it is the direction of new beginnings. Right? That's when our culture, if you look at it, we face gods and everything as well in the east facing direction. Because that is the direction from which the new, the auspicious fresh arises, like the sun, the dawn. Even in Vastu Shastra, the way the homes are set up, the front door, they say the face should be facing east. And of course, this has really scientific significance as well, because the rays of the sun, the first rays of the sun as they arise, have certain quality and energies in that is purifying. And that's why we get up in the morning, we have the holy basil in front of the home, because that again purifies the air, and that is where the first moments after we wake up is spent. And all this has significance because for our well-being and for our health, right? So everything is connected. So Purva is that. It's the east facing. It is where the dawn, the new, you can take a glimpse of that. Right? Bhadrapada. Bhadra means auspicious. Right? So like Kali, if you look at Kali's name at the level of time and space, right? That's the perspective we take as Kali. It's like Bhadra Kali is the auspicious Kali that arises as grace itself. Right? So like that. So Bhadra is that name. And again, if we have to sense into the words, right, in the way that we say it, if you again we say the word bha is the word where, to utter it, both the lips have to come together and we utter the word bha. And it is the unmanifest kind of coming into manifest when we say bha. That's why Bhu Devi, that we call her, she's manifest as this earth that it can be perceived at the level of matter. Right? It's like this anchoring feeling. Bhu Devi, that's why Brahma, Bha. Again, that comes into manifest. Right? So this is the auspicious, everything is auspicious, that everything is the one divine that is appearing in this form and a certain flavor of that auspiciousness, right? A certain Shakti, certain power. So that means from the east, Bhadrapada. Pada is literally the first step. That step, footstep. The auspicious first step that is coming. So that's the energy of this nakshatra, the way that we play. And of course, each perceived form and its level of awareness and state of consciousness allows for the unique dance between, the relating between. So there's much more than this. This is just the top level. If you go into Vedic astrology, that's where you really see how all these energies are constant arising of these fresh, intermingling of relating of energies. And that is the living experience that consciousness is experiencing in every moment. So Purva Bhadrapada is this nakshatra at this point. The first 3 quarters of that is in Aquarius. The last one is in Pisces. And that's why we're going to also kind of explore a little bit about the follow-up nakshatra that's there, because that's the time frame, and that is Uttara Bhadrapada, right? And that is in Pisces. So as we know, at the level of the cycle of time, as one cycle ends, we know, Capricorn, and then that's the past, and then the Aquarius and the Pisces before the new Aries cycle begins. And so Aquarius is, at that time where really that shift and that harvesting, in that sense, that's where that Aquarius is like that rebellious energy, right? It stands to see the bigger picture, kind of like that kind of energy in that sense. And then the Pisces conscious energy literally is like the liquid waters, right? Spirituality, right? It's not at the level of form. It dissolves again so that it can begin afresh again, the new cycle. So that's one way of looking at it, one perspective, right? So we're going to look at both the nakshatras in this, because that's the time frame that is kind of that we are exploring. Again, context is everything. If this is one of your first videos, everything that can be uttered, expressed at the level of linear experience, that is level of the body, psychological eye, and the play of the world. That which we are, of course, as consciousness, that cannot be uttered, does not live at the level of any linear time. It already is. It already is. So we need to be able to kind of hold that. So consciousness already is. This is simply us playing and exploring and experiencing at our relative identity, right? That's the thing. So however it reveals, and when we hold that stance, then we are open to this life that is appearing, that I am kind of unfolding as or becoming as, right? That's one perspective to look at it. So back to Purva Bhadrapada. So the deity for Purva Bhadrapada is the Aja Ekapada. Right? So Aja Ekapada is symbolized by the one-legged goat. Of course, hold all of these symbols, especially the ancient distinct symbols a little loosely, because they were all symbolized based in order to be understood by those who were there at that time, right? So certain of this, like one of the symbols for these two nakshatras is the cot or the bed. So during those times, like the cow, the goat, the bed were all really prime, like important things they had in the house. So the symbols were related to that, right? So Aja Ekapada, the one-footed goat. So Aja is the name of Shiva, right? Like Adi. It's like the unborn, the unmanifest that we cannot speak about. Stepping, it's like if the sun, if you look at the Purva, it's the first ray of the sun, they say. That which is unborn, that which is unmanifest, coming first into manifest. Aja, right? The Ah, first expression, again this Ah, right? In the Om, that's why the first is the Ah expression that comes into manifest. So that's why even the word Aja is used for Brahma, for Vishnu, for Shakti, all of that. And in fact, the goat also, that's why we can say one perspective is the she-goat, right? Because if you take the perspective of Shakti and then that this play is a feminine divine mother, then you'll see this as the feminine aspect of it. And the energy of this Aja Ekpada, right? The first step. Ek means one, first, Pada, the first step into this, is Shiva's energy as Rudra. And that is kind of, it is this, the first, that manifest energy is felt as, it is radiant, right? It comes almost like a proclamation, one may say. So it's that kind of an energy, the Rudra energy, I am, right? It takes that energy in that sense to manifest. So that is why for us, if you look at the chakra perspective, right, the root chakra, the Mooladhara is the red color. Why is it vibrant red? It's like a statement. It's like an announcement. I am manifest. I am experiencing it. It calls for attention, right? It takes a stand. That's what it is, taking a stand. Ekapada, right? That kind of energy. So it's a Rudra energy if you look at it from, if you sense it as consciousness, as Shiva energy. So that is the energy we are in right now. And if we've kind of moved with and as nature, right, as cycles by Mahashivratri or whatever, we've just kind of sensing into this, what is coming up and coming to surface, we will kind of sense that. So there is new consciousness or new state of being that is arising in every moment. And this is the invitation for that, to really kind of sense into it. What is it? Right? What is the intention that is unfolding? What is that new that is, because all that is appearing, right? We are as awareness. All that is appearing in our life, nothing is random. Right? It's coming up. We're living a theme here, whether at the individual level or at the level of the collective perceived. There's something that's coming up, right? And each person is like this unfolding of the soul or the source as a unique gift, right? So what is coming forth, right? So we can sense that. The person, whatever, is not a concept, right? Simply the idea as if it's a concept. It is like the door or a portal that is bringing forth something. And each one is unique, unlike another. And it is so unique, like that one nanosecond is not the same as the next. So that is the invitation of this. What is arising? You'll feel it. And allow for that. I also want to name one thing. Even if the senses you cannot sense it at this, consciousness already is. We already are consciousness. So don't be too concerned about what is being sensed or not, or I can see it or not. It does not matter. The only thing that matters is that feeling in the heart that says, yes, yes, I'm available and I'm open. That's it. Whether you see it or not or whatever, we start walking as that's when the body, right, that's opening of the door of the heart and the whole being, and you start walking as that. Yes, yes, I wanna see, I'm ready, right? That state. See, nothing really needs to be even asked because the door is never closed. It's open. It's only the play of the Dwapar Yuga, right? As the personal self, as a concept. We hold ourselves as an idea, thinking the door is closed. So just uttering this and asking is kind of giving a permission to ourselves that allows us to see the door that it is opening. So just staying open. Whatever comes through, perfect in every moment as this unfolding, right? So that's the invitation. That's the invitation. So sensing this, right? Even whatever comes up now, like Aja, Ekapada. And what is the Shakti flavor, if you look at it, of this Aja Ekapada deity, of this nakshatra? It is the Yajamana Udyamana Shakti. Yajamana is the one who rules, right? Because consciousness is the only thing that is living, one being. So that Udyamana, I am rising, Shakti. So the energy of this nakshatra calls when we are ready to see that it's anyway happening, right? Again, I want to name that one thing because it's so key, right? Reality, consciousness is living anyways. It is only the experience of the transformation will be differently experienced based on naturally the identity that is living. All the one divine being that is playing. Right? So the invitation always is, if we move as a personal self holding on to our ideas, naturally that too is a play, right? Then the experience of this transformation is felt as resistance because the personal mind is this construct which resists, right? It's familiar. We're only moving as the known mind, as the five senses, and I've shared enough about that. But when we are open and available, now we are available to moving to whatever the change is that is coming through. So that's the invitation. So the Yajamana, Udyamana is I am rising, calls forth to see. In this level, at this moment, what is it that consciousness through me as unique is rising up? That is rising up not just as me, as the I am, what is rising up, right? It's all a play. That is the one. So that is rising up. So that is the thing. And of course, with this, I'm going to share about the next nakshatra, which is the Uttara Bhadrapada. Right? So one symbol for this, apart from the single-legged goat, is that it's a cot. It's the bed. So if the Purva Bhadrapada cot or the bed is the front two legs, then the Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra that follows in Pisces is the back two legs. Okay, so that is what steadies us for the play that is coming forward. So that is what the invitation is of this time, and that's why very, very critical. We are, what one may say, what is arising new is stabilizing. Right? So that's the time here to stabilize in that. So the front two legs are of the Purva Bhadrapada. And the back, and it's also called as the funeral bed. Now again, I want to say it's all perspective, everything the way that you stand, because this bed you can see as this literally of this forming, right? That we are coming into manifestation into this new form. One way to look at it is this form is not a concept, not a static form at all, right? It's a constant birth and constant dying. Right? When we are in the moment, every moment when we are with the present, arises, dissolves, arises, dissolves. Right? Ever changing, ever changing. So we can play at the level of these words, definitions, symbols. It's simply for the joy that I see you, I celebrate you, as in I celebrate the I am. Right? But it's all these things. So that one perspective, that's what this is, like the funeral bed. To really see what has ended. So the Purva Bhadrapada, from this perspective, can also be seen and to be an acknowledgement of that which is over. Right? We bless it. We let it move at the level of the identity, at the level of what has risen and finished playing as the world that I am and is over. Right? So that is also called as the funeral cot in one way. And so this cot, the front legs are for the Purva Bhadrapada, the back legs are for the Uttara Bhadrapada. Now again, the words, right, if you really look at it, Uttara. So if the Purva Bhadrapada is where the dawn is, it literally takes our gaze to the east. What is rising, right? Uttara is the north. Again, an auspicious direction that one may say is turn towards your true north. Right? The direction has shifted. Turn towards your true north. Uttara, north facing direction. So it is moving as our inner compass, which is always facing the true north in every moment. So that is the meaning again of Uttara, if you look at it. Another important meaning for this word Uttara is it is the stamba. Uttara means pillar. And again, that's when it's so beautiful in these languages, right? Especially ancient languages, really feel it. It's impossible to translate. Listen to some of the songs and the bhajan and we sense into it. We will never meet that song, and as we know, right, when we read books as well, we never meet it. It's the level of consciousness through which we sense it. It's so beautiful, the way layers within layers within layers and depths that you sense into it. So the same word Uttara, the depth is meaning is the pillar. Right? The strength of any structure is dependent on the foundation. So for us, we relate it to the temple, right? The temple, body is a temple. We create structures outside that literally holds energies, which is our temples. And the pillar, the strength and the structure and the placement of the pillar is what determines how energy is moving in that inner sanctum of the temple. Right? So when we are standing at this form, this level, if you look at the body as a temple, right, that is the stamba. So we are a pillar of light. That's what we are. So Uttara Bhadrapada is to take a stand as a true north, as that pillar of light, right? That which we are. That is the foundation. This is my north. I can sense that, right? And it's of course unfolding eternally, right? So to take that stand. So Uttara is that. Another meaning for Uttara is also means answer. Consciousness is the only answer, without a question actually. And unknowable, unnameable, living answer. Right? As the Dwapara Yuga mind, we play the dynamics of doubt, confusion, question, right? And then the answer. The answer, as we know, the solution is always the expanded state of consciousness, a natural play of evolution, right? That growth. So, Uttara also means I am eternally the living answer. So the Uttara Bhadrapada, as you can sense the energy of that, right, is truly stabilizing into that higher level of awareness. Right? So the front two legs are the arrival, the back two legs stabilize, like the four legs. You can say the human consciousness is why the four doors, the four yugas, right? The Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, stabilize in that. So this at this point is symbolic for that in many ways. So the back two legs are the Uttara Bhadrapada. So during the Uttara Bhadrapada phase, that's the Pisces, that's why that stabilization happens. That is when we allow, right, we allow ourselves to get fluid, age of Aquarius, water-like. Right? Because only then we can really sense what is the new that is coming up, not as this concrete idea that we are moving as. So to loosen up. So that is the Uttara Bhadrapada stage. So this time, that's why March, April, solar eclipse, beyond that phase is calling us for that at this time. It's already happening. Again, I want to name that for the seeking mind, the known mind, that thinks, what do I do? Nothing to do, celebrate. Celebrate that which is already arising. Celebrate the deeper, anything that you can sense. Celebrate the little things that are coming up. I didn't know that, now I know. Right? And even sensing into that whatever is the senses I might not even know, that which I am is consciousness. Staying available to the seeing of that, the sensing of that. Right? If it already is, how is it that it already is? I already am. I already am. That holds no insistence by the five senses that I need to see it, I need to gain it. That this is not the play. Consciousness is primary. Right? It precedes. The I, the self, precedes the appearance of reality. So it's the invitation for that. I also want to name quickly here, that's why I'm writing blogs based on the conversations that are coming up and things like that, of how to look at the things that many a times we grapple with, right? In different topics, it's the same thing, but different topics, which seems like different topics, and to sense it and see it from this lens of I already am. I'll go ahead and put the link down there as well, which I'm sharing kind of blogs on that as it comes up. So anyway, so coming back to this, very, very key. I also want to name another thing. So the deity for Purva Bhadrapada is Aja Ekpada, right? The deity for Uttara Bhadrapada is Ahir Budhanya, right? Again, a very, very powerful deity. It's, almost has this energy of this. That's why I say victorious. This time really is an announcement of I am living, I am victorious, and I arise again. The rise of the phoenix. That is why the Rudra energy of Shiva that I was talking about is the same as the dragon energy. One can look at it as. Right? It's the dragon energy of this thing and the water element. These are like, they seem opposite, but they're not. It's the masculine and it is the feminine. Again, if you look at the Ahir Budhanya's Shakti, it's the Varshodhamya Shakti. Varsha is the water, right? She is the feminine. She brings fertile, right? Without water, there is no living life. So that is why at this time, in our culture, we celebrate the spring showers with Holi and all these festivals, acknowledging that was it, which is rising up. So if the Rudra energy in this, the Shiva as Rudra, awareness, arising as a new dawn is the masculine, then the Varsha energy of Ahir Budhanya and this time of the Uttara Bhadrapada, is the feminine. So wherever we stand as, it's all a play of this coming together, right? It's the coming together of these two that is the experience of living new life ever fresh. Ever fresh. No moment is the same as the one before. It all is living within. There's no within without, like in the sense that there's only isness of it. Right? There's only experiencing, there's only sensing, there's only tasting. Right? The level of awareness, consciousness allows for what I will see, the life that I'm living as, how I will taste it. Right? Our experience of our world is a deeply personal experience, the way that we see, the way that we define what is happening and what we see. This is the invitation for that. Right? This is the invitation for that. This 2 nakshatra time, very, very powerful, very, very exciting, very, very potent. And Uttara, right? Another thing that was coming up as well, if you look at it. We are in the Uttarayana part of the cycle right now. Right? Uttarayana, which begins in mid-Jan, right? After winter solstice, right? That whole cycle of arising again. Then again at the tail end during August, and we have the Dakshinayana cycle. So if we take the perspective of how it is expressed in yoga, one may say, right? In yoga, Dakshinayana is the sadhana pada, right? That's the time, again, sadhana pada, the time of practice, the time, basically that means go inwards and sense, right? Longer nights, we go inwards and we sense all of that. And then from that is the feminine, the settling down, right? We're not outwardly facing at the senses, at the masculine play of matter. We're inwards, contemplative phase. And now is the arising, right, of facing outwards, one may say, where the masculine, the flowers are blooming this spring and summer, right, till we have the equinox that happens, which is totally, if you really look at it, it's like just facing outwards. Flowers are blooming, fresh leaves, summer is all about fruiting, right? And then the shift again into Dakshinayana. So Uttarayana phase is the Kaivalya Pada. That is why it is a time, we say, of new level of awareness, a time of experiencing the enlightened state, the time of rising, right? Time of grace, a time of new light. So our ability for the known mind to receive it is very important. Receive the grace, that which already is. Right? So this is the time for that Kevala. That's why many times this also is called as the Jnana Pada. Right? The arising of that which cannot be named as living Jnana. Right? So that is happening. So this time frame is also the time frame. There's lots happening. So couple of dates that I'm going to offer also, and a celebration of it, festivals. So March 19th, so again, March 19th is the equinox time that we have, the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere, spring equinox where the day and the night are equal. So that is again a very, very important day. We can look at that. And then we have March 25th, of course, is the full moon, right? This time frame is very, very key. And at that time is also the lunar eclipse. Big. Right? The window between the lunar and the solar eclipse, that's on the April 8th too. Right? That window is again charged, very much charged. Uttarayana phase, if we look at it, reason that's coming up again is that is the phase of really till June, that's till summer, to really shifting and living as our true north. That is the significance of the Uttarayana phase, the cycle. Very, 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 very key. Right? What is the new coming up? And giving ourselves the permission, right? Who needs the permission? Only the known mind that is still stuck with the ideas, wants to know the whys and all of that. Fair play. Right, valid play. So giving the permission. I am ready, I'm available, the new is coming, and shifting to that. Only then that allows us to perceive the new that is coming up. Otherwise, we cannot even see it. If we're not open, we cannot see. We'll see as the past from the past lens, right? And then we'll recreate and we'll think this is what it is. It is not. Nothing is the same, not from one nanosecond to the other. Right? So, meeting life with fresh eyes. So at this time frame that we're going to, at one level of the cycle, is at a complete different energetic level than any of the previous cycles, because we have made that shift, paradigm shift. So observe, be, nothing to do, just to be that already is happening, right? But to be aware of that and kind of that sense of celebration, because when we are, all these words are simply for the mind, because when we know that this is happening, then we are open to it, we are loose, we allow. And in that state is where we can even perceive. Because otherwise, when we are constricted, we don't see anything. Right? So, allow for everything, whatever is. Blessed auspiciousness. So we say, Sarvamangalam. Sarvamangalam. Swadharma, Swatantra. Every Swa beautifully experiencing its state, its dharma, its nature. Right? And that is Swatantra. It's this mechanism. It's a phenomena, mind. And as consciousness, we know that as consciousness, all experiences equanimous. There's nothing outside of that which we are.
Sarvamangal Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnumayeti Shaktita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Chetanitya Vidhiyate Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhirupena Sanskita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha
It's beautiful, this thing where it says like water is auspicious, the mind is auspicious, this illusion also, the Mahamaya is auspicious. What is outside of pure auspiciousness? Because what is outside of consciousness? So this time frame, in that sense one may say, is like seeing with clarity, the living intention that is. The turning to the true north. This is what as consciousness I am in and as this body uniquely living. Right? That's the invitation. So we'll move into seeing what this Sankalpa, and this is really very, very key, because with the paradigm shift, this is, right, all these words. Of course, if you're living as the true self, no words are required. Every moment we stand as awareness, we move as the innate intelligence that there is. But as we're unfolding in these words, right, and we're going through this awakening phase, for the seeking mind, it can be very, very helpful to hold this perspective, where sensing into the deeper intention what is coming up. But before we begin, let's kind of just anchor in, kind of sensing into this with a meditation. Just a little centering more than anything. So finding ourselves a space where we won't be disturbed just for a few minutes. Closing our eyes. Taking our attention from wherever it may have been to seeing that while our mind was dancing, listening, taking in concepts, perhaps the breath is eternally breathing the body. Coming into the body, being with this dance of the breath and the body. Staying empty, absolutely. And that really means is to sense the emptiness that already is, within which whatever arises, allowing it to arise, whatever dissolves, allowing it to dissolve. And with every breath, kind of just feeling the body, feeling the top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head, forehead, eyebrows, temple, allowing the eyeballs to fall back, the eyelids to relax just for these few moments. Allowing the world to be, everything to be just as it is, and coming into the space. Feeling the jaw, allowing the tongue to naturally rest on the upper palate behind the front teeth, behind the ears, neck, shoulder, armpit, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, wrist, palms, fingers. Feeling the energy radiating even beyond the fingers and at the edges of the body. Chest, upper back, sides of the upper torso. Lower back, sides of the lower torso, soft belly, open, free, falling out. In a deep sense of trusting life arises from here. need to only trust life when we stand separate from life. Trust is not needed when there is only one. When we meet life in the present moment as one, then it's pure play of response. We don't need to have concepts of trusting anything. Right? That is the power of truly living as truer reality, as the true self, as the aware self that does not live in time, linear time and space. And this is living as Treta Yuga, right? Third eye, that is clarity. It's very key to see that the clarity does not live at the level of linear time. Show me what is coming in future, and that is the clarity that I have. It all appears is being sensed in the now, here. What is true for me in this arising moment with what is happening? It's the relating of that. It's that in the womb, right? When it's open, available, anchored, right? At the base, I am life. That's undefended, it's open. As a fully open blossoming flower. Right? It might be a tender flower to the eye, but it is fully unfolded and living. Sensing that as the belly, hips, sensing the base of the spine, right, like the stem of a plant, just anchored to Mother Earth's heart. Sensing Mother Earth eternally supporting the body. Feeling the hips, the thighs, knees, calves, shin, feet, heel, soles of the feet, toes, top of the feet. Energy radiating beyond that. Sensing the whole body now, this I am field alive. Divine presence. Sense the spine, which is like the Merudanda, we say, the central axis of the cosmic self itself. Anchored beautifully from the Muladhara root chakra at the bottom to Mother Earth's heart, from the base of the spine, perineum point. Anchored to Mother Earth's heart, and from the crown chakra top to the soul chakra. Living intention, Sankalpa. And staying open and aware in and as the space to sense what is unfolding. See, Sankalpa can be everything is identity. Sankalpa can be explored in two ways or sensed in two ways. One is, of course, as the personal mind, right? We can come up with an intention that we have been sensing, which is fine, right? That comes up. And we can say yes to that, turning ourselves, and that's a concept. We can write that down if you want. This is my intention to live as this. This is, however we may word it. we have to be very aware at that point that also everything is the state of mind and the state of awareness. If the I is the thinking mind and the body and the world that is at the paradigm level of play, which is linear, conceptual, space-time play, the I that is setting that intention will add time, linear time and concept to it. That is just the way it is. The lens through which we see it determines what will be seen. So when we do an intention, that's why many a times you see, set the intention for the day, and of course it's, again I want to keep repeating that, nothing is wrong, all these are valid states of play. But this is a Dwapar Yuga state of play, where we are unconscious of the truer reality that arises in the fresh, eternal moment, and we are playing as a concept, as smriti. Right? We're not standing as shruti. That is the open field, being with reality in the moment. We are a smriti. Right? So smriti, memory. So we're going to come up with an intention. That is, smriti belongs to the known mind, which only knows the known world. So the ideas of our intention will come from that, which can be a very powerful first step for the person. Right? So it can always be a first step of sensing, however it arises. Okay, this is what I think right now, this is what I set as, write it down. But also be aware that your intention then will also add time. My intention to do, because it's the doer, it will think in the terms of doing. To do this or be this is going to take so much time. This, we are in the new era right now. Right? This is the paradigm shift to live as Treta Yuga. That is the invitation. The last video that was shared, really, that's why. The third eye opening and the Swadhisthana opening is the meeting of the two, is collapsing the chakras to living from the heart in the center in the now. So Shiva reminds, that's why. Consciousness is. It precedes all the play of the mind, the infinite plays of the mind. I am. Everything, any intention that is coming to its own fruition already is, because I am. That is what is the meaning and the vibration of Om. To utter the word Om is to say I am. If the personal mind, that is the identity, sets the intention, it'll add time to it. It'll add a future idea to it. Right? That's the level of possibility it'll see, and that is what it'll add as a future. The invitation in this paradigm shift, that is what Shiva's call is. Make every idea, every concept that we have garnered and taken in on from the world, that is linear time-space, redundant. That is simply a play of illusion. I am timeless. To even sense the intention, that's why, is to know that it already is. Because as consciousness, what is not cannot be sensed by the mind. To sense it is to know that it already is manifest. The seed, the unseen seed, has already sprouted. It's the sapling. It already is now. So being that. So it is not about setting an intention in time, linear time, as much as it is about living the intention as being. I am. I am. I am. So what I am sensing as an intention already is. So to celebrating that I am state, how will a state of consciousness live that intention that is coming up? Barring what may be perceived at the level of the senses, at the level of what the senses may experience, what is the state of being, right? The state of being in consciousness is everything. That is the portal. That is the womb that births, brings into manifestation. So very key. That state of being, that state of vibration is what Shiva's invitation is. Be me now. If it has a form, fine. If it is really like pure consciousness, it doesn't even need to be defined, right? Because every moment is a fresh arising. What can we speak about that? We simply are. We simply are. Completely open, embracing what arises. All there is divine living. That's the invitation of Shiva at this point. So sensing, because the I am is the whole field, what is in my awareness is not outside of me. So what is arising? To becoming very, very sensitive, right? Sensing it. That's why from this space, we can sense the play, what is being called forth. So that is the invitation for intention. Sankalpa. I don't want to really offer you the meaning of the word. Like if you look at it, one way to explore the Sankalpa. Sun and Kalpa, two words. The word sun in Sanskrit is literally signifies awareness. Sun is kind of like a prefix, it's added to words and pointing, it's a unifying effect, right? So anything that you add the sun to speaks about the level of awareness. That is going to determine what is experienced. So it's the Shiva and the Shakti aspect. So Sun Kalpa. Kalpa is time, right? That era, time frame. That which is going to be experienced at the level that arises is determined by the level of the Sankalpa, the sun. So Sankalpa, one way from this can also be looked at, that's why, as anything that is expressed, right? Because as pure consciousness, there's nothing there. We cannot even speak about it. It's attributeless. Everything, even at the level of the mind, right, is the one mind that is appearing as infinite. So at that level, that's why we say it is emotion, energy. And for energy or any experience to be, even the experience that we call as timeless, right? If there's any isness to it, it is at the level of mind. It is energy. That means it has 2 points. So that is why intention literally means intention. The relating between 2 points. The I am, identity, the I one may see, that is perceiving, and that determines the tension within what is perceived. That is the play. Shiva Shakti. Intention. So when we actually go within the intention, to go in and see what is the I, that is the anchor. That allows for the perception. That is going to determine the experience and how the intention is going to be defined. And this intention, that's why now as we say, mind is deeply personal. That's why, because she's energy in motion, and Shiva became Shakti as the mind for the delight of experience, all experience. There's nothing apart, right? So it is emotion, bhava. The word for it is bhava. This living is emotional. That's why we feel it deeply. It is a lived experience. There's no escaping that, sensing. There's no standing apart from that. It's emotion, it's bhava. And again, bha. Right? It's the manifestation, isness. Mind is, I am here. That's Shiva saying as Shakti. I'm here. I am. Bhava. Va again, as we know, the air element. Right? So she's fluid like an illusion, moving. The unseen coming into the seen manifest. This emotion that moves bhava. Sankalpa. When there is distance between Shiva and Shakti, that play, Dwapar Yuga. I am different, the I am stands as apart from its world. Then there is distance. Naturally, if the Dwapar Yuga then sets the Sankalpa, it naturally sets it at the level of time. Because it doesn't realize that I am pure experiencing. The play of Dwapar Yuga is the dynamics of an outer experience, inner experience. It is attached to that. And that's why it wants the outer experience at the level of senses. Simply valid play. Right? But in this paradigm, Sankalpa is one. Shiva Shakti are one and the same, simply appearing as two opposites. There is no difference between the masculine and the feminine. There is no difference between. That is why there is no need to resolve anything. In duality, it's the non-dual that arises as the dual. It's one and the same. Simply explored in context for the understanding, for the mind that is seeking at the level of unconscious duality. But it's all one and the same beingness. The only space is the I am aware space here. So Shiva invites for this time. Do not separate anything. All is one. Right, again coming back to Ishvasya Upanishads. Purnamidam. Even when I appear as a part, it is wholeness that is appearing as a part. This separation simply allows us to experience the joy and the love of relating as if with another, as if with an outer, to be able to sense different things. But all there is to that is awareness, consciousness. One. I meet another only as one. I see another celebrating it as only as one. Whatever intention that comes up that you might be inspired to write down, right? However, whatever is calling, write it in present moment and write it as it is already done, because it is. The play of the known mind, what is perceived at the senses, comes later. It only perceives the past. All that is seen is the past. It's very important. Writing the Sankalpa as it is done already, being it, living it. That's it. Shiva says, make all future play, especially at the unconscious way, that unfolding will happen. Whatever that is happening, but we see that for what it is. That's why I'm the timeless awareness within which time is unfolding. So I experience myself as a process because I'm experiencing myself at the identity at the level of the body. But when I am awareness, that is not changing. I can see on the still space within which all this is unfolding. And the more and more sit with it and we sense it, everything opens up. And then we can be that equanimous space, right? That's the invitation for all of us at this time, to see the place. Then we can, when we are that Akasha space, we are that unchanging, steady space. One way to look at it, right? Then that's why we say we only bring the peace into our world, that the peace that we are. We bring in the love that we are. We bring in the joy that we are. That is that. I play as all states, all conditions, all mind. The one divine self, Sarvamangalam, eternally ever present auspiciousness, living and celebrating an awakened body, mind, world.